Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. On this video, I'm going to go to video number 2, which is Red Hat programming with Python. Python programming on Red Hat Linux platform. And that's what I'm going to cover today. So as you can see on this thumbnail, the Python programming on Red Hat Linux version 9, in particular 9.2. I will be covering, as you can see, I have highlighted the OS release or Red Hat release version, Red Hat Enterprise Linux 9.2. The code name is Flow. And then the version of Python that currently is installed is 3.9.16. And the pep install version is 3.9. So I'll cover all of that one with details on Python updates and Python installation, as well as IPython, as well as Jupyter Lab, and then Visual Studio Code for IDEs, and then PyCharm. Also, I'm going to cover all of that one in one video, and this is going to be the thumbnail for video number 2 that you will be seeing it as soon as I post it. So on video number 2, I'm going to be covering the installation of Python programming language on Linux, Red Hat Enterprise Linux version 9, and then installation and setting up the environment, installing update or install or update Python, and then pep install IPython. Once you install Python, then you can use pep or pep3 to install the IPython interactive Python, as well as pep install Jupyter dash lab. And sometimes you could write the Jupyter lab as the install on this one, and then you could just do that one, as well as running it. You might just run Jupyter dash lab. So the name is sometimes you put dash lab, sometimes you put Jupyter lab, depending on what the package name, how it was named. So in this one, I believe it was Jupyter lab, not Jupyter dash lab. So let me correct that one right here. And then when we run the program with the Jupyter lab, and this is all lowercase there. So we could just say ignore case or add it to dictionary and then save it. And then go to the slideshow here again from the current version. This is what how easy it is to fix it. So we're going to do the installation on Python on Linux system, as well as Jupyter Lab, PyCharm, Visual Studio Code, and IPython, everything covered in one video, video number 2. And the course outline, as you can see, I'm going to do the installation. I might do install or update of Python. If the version is not installed on a particular Linux version, you have to do a fresh install. But if it is already there, you can update it to a newer version if you want to. If you don't need to update it, it's the latest, then you don't need to do install or update. And then you can also use pep install to interactively to install the interactive Python, as well as Jupyter Lab. And then here, this one is also a typo. So I'm gonna just correct that one, save it. I have to see at the time of the installation, I might not need to just do that one with dash, because the developers keep updating it on Windows in one name, and then on the Linux one name. They can just keep their priorities straight when they're working on open source. Unfortunately, everybody is just contributing it, and sometimes the naming is just a choice of the developer. But you can just find the name of the package and then you could do it. So on Linux platform, in addition to this, I'm going to introduce you to the Linux terminal. On Linux terminal is basically the command line version of Linux, which is on Windows. I showed you it was terminal and command prompt, and like CMD for DOS command prompt, this operating system. But Linux has a terminal that you can type in through Bash or SH or Corn shell or any other shell that you're using. Sometimes you could do a secure shell or SSH secure shell client, or even as a copy to copy secure copy files remotely to another server, so you can work on Python packages and do a number of things. As you can see here, I'm listing all the shells and that Linux provide: Bourne shell, Corn shell, C shell, which is C syntax like, through C shell, which is the enhanced version of C shell, Bash, which is born again shell, and then ZSH, which is the superset of all the other ones with extended Bash support for plugins and themes and more. The secure shell obviously has a daemon as a server. It runs on the server side, and then SSH is on the client side that you could secure shell to the server side, and its copy is to do secure copy as a command line client version as well. On the Python programming on Linux platform, we're gonna just introduce you to the Python secure website, which is python.org, and then also docs.python.org, and then python.org downloads. You could just get all of that one, so you can download the information. Setting up your Python environment is basically you set up your Python environment to install Python, IPython, and Jupyter Lab. That's the part that I'm gonna cover in the lab section. And then Python integrated development learning environment. idle is inside the Python interpreter, and then outside you can have the IDE, which is integrated development environment that has IntelliSense, and it has syntax highlighted, and it has debugging tools and a lot of run and programs and tested everything that you can have the entire source code built in one environment and then do it. And those are example PyCharm with IDEs, Visual Studio Code with IDE, the IPython features I'm going to cover, as well as the Jupyter Lab IDE features. I'm going to cover that one also. And I want to also thank you for watching my videos, and then welcome again to MyWebUniversity, my YouTube channel. On this channel, I have thousands of videos that are going to help you understand computer science and computer science related topics at the college level skills. And this is all free on the web using YouTube channel. So you're welcome to watch it and then make some comments and let me know what your needs are. And I'll just go through the lab now with everything on the presentation is covered. So this is the channel that has all the videos posted already. Here you can see there's thousands of videos on those topics that I mentioned, including programming language in Python, C, C++, Shell, Bash, and then a lot of other one, awk, and Apache web server, and Windows platform, Linux platform, Red Hat, virtual machines. There's a lot of things that I have covered here, including documentation and everything. So what I want you to do is you could do me a big favor, watch the channel, make some comments, and then let me know what areas that will help you the most, and I'll just make videos based on those ones. At the same time, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe so you will get the latest video that I post. You will be notified. Thank you so much. So this is my website actually that I have a lot of technical documentation as well as the video. So if you go to the main video here, that is going to take you to YouTube. But if you come in here and just watch any of these videos, it will teach you a lot of stuff. And at the same time, if you go to next, I have this book online called The Direct Path to Linux Ubuntu that teaches you Linux, Ubuntu, and Red Hat, and Rocky version, and Ubuntu as well. So, and then it has about 11 chapters altogether. There's some technical PDF documentation. There's more than 32,000 technical PDF documentation here that are available for each one of them. For example, on Red Hat, you can see that it's all of them are here. So you can just click on any of them, and I print you the basically provide you the PDF of file in manual pages in PDF format. You don't need to install Linux Red Hat or Linux Ubuntu or Linux Rocky in order to get documentation on them. And then at the same time for C, C++, if you're a student that you're learning those ones, you can just go through those and then get the documentation for the header files as well. And then chapter 2 through 4 is basic, intermediate, and advanced. This one is basically helping you do coding as well as programming on Python, C, C++, as well as Bash scripting on chapter 5 and there. So let's go back to the topic, what we were doing here on the presentation. So I said that I'm going to cover all of these today. Right here, I'm going to start off with that one, with the lab activity. But before we do that one, let's just go to python.org website. So I could tell you, if you go to python.org, you can see the log here, that is secure page, HTTPS, and then that's hypertext transfer protocol, secure. The S stands for secure, and that's why the lock is there, because it has a certificate. Connection is secure. So all the data that you touch in here between the client and server, it goes through cipher encrypted mode, so you're safe to just browse and do the documentation. It's like almost like you're connecting to a banking system that are secure. Authentication is all may require, may not require in this case, but sometimes when you're having it in a clear text, you're afraid that, okay, some of the data could be sniffing within the packets on the network if you're not on the safe network. So it is not a problem when you see the log here. At this time, I could click on download page, for example, here. You can see on the download, you can get a number of versions for Python version that you could download. And there's some of them are for different platforms. So for Linux, for Windows, you can just go on there and then see whichever one version that is interests you. You could get it from that one, depending on the platform that you go. For Linux, Mac, or everything is here. You see that Windows and Mac OS X and everything else. So Mac OS X is Unix, and Unix, if you're just getting the tar ganzip files, obviously you have to do it, but it's also on your platforms, depending on what platform you use, Red Hat or Rocky or Ubuntu. There's different repository, different package managers. You have to do it. I'm going to show you all that on the Red Hat version. So the other thing is there's documentation here that's on the website that is available. You're welcome to and just go through the documentation and understand all the details there. In addition, there's documentation on my website here that I showed you here. You could just, for example, on Red Hat, if you're looking for Control F and search for Python, and then look for Python 3.1 PDF files, and then you can just read the whole thing here as well. But there's a lot more in the Red Hat website, Python.org website under documentation for NumPy and everything. I have for them as videos also available, and you're welcome to consult both of the sites, and then you will learn from each one of them differently, or more information you will be learning. So we went through the website now, and let's get into Linux Red Hat server that I'm running as a virtual machine here. So my old operating system is Windows 11. Right here, let me just show you quickly. So if I just go here and say system info, find /string, and then OS name, and then it's OS space name, and then that is telling me that I have Windows 11 operating system, and you can see here is a Windows 11 operating system right there, Microsoft Windows 11, and build version is 10. And you can also type in clear screen here, CMD, it will just open the build version there. And if I exit out of this one, exit out this, that window goes away. Here I want to just say that was my host operating system. I'm running this virtual machine here. You can see the virtual machine I'm running is algorithm. The name, and this is the setting, is the name is algorithm, and it says about 8 gig memory for processor, all the details are in there. But when I log in here, I can get that information from the OS level also. So let me log in on the screen saver here. And now I'm inside the Linux machine. So I could resize this window to different size, or I could just have it like this much, and then under this activity, you can have all the information here, including the browser and the Firefox, and then software updates, all of this one, and then show application, desktop application, everything is there for you. But if I just close this terminal, and this is my background, you can also change the background to a different color or a different shape, and then whatever you want to do with it, it's up to you. And it's very easy, intuitive, and then so I like this one. I'm gonna keep that one because that was my thumbnail that I generated from this one. Now I'm gonna open a terminal here. By clicking this terminal, this opens a terminal, and then this terminal, if I say cat etc red hat -release, it tells me that I'm on a Linux version 9.3, and because I just did an update, because of the DNF update, I'm getting a 9.3. On the paper, I say that it's 9.2 earlier, but now I just updated as of an hour ago. Every time you do a DNF update, it is going to just change the minor version, and if you do a DNF upgrade from one version to the new version, like 6 to 7, 7 to 8, you can upgrade it that way too. So if I say uname -o, you can see it's Linux GNU version, and then uname -a for all, it will tell me all the parameters, and uname -help will give you all of those parameters. Please watch my other videos if you need help on those syntax. I have a lot of videos on these topics. I'm not gonna go through each parameters separately, but at this time I want to know what operating system I use, which is this, and then what is my current OS-release. It's gonna give me all the details. So the code name is Flow, and then Red Hat Enterprise Linux. It's a Fedora distribution, Linux Fedora, Red Hat is Fedora. So at this time, we're going to just do a couple of other things. So I want to identify my user login. ID-UN is going to show I'm logged on as username Wahid. ID-group name is also Wahid. And then ID, that's good enough. ID-A will give you all of them. And then all the parameters, including the groups that I belong. Groups also tells me what are my groups. My primary group is Wahid, but I also belong to the Wheels group. That means I can do sudo. So I can do sudo su dash, and that means use the switch user do. This is some people say super user do. It's not super user do. Please don't mislead people by just looking at the SU. It is actually called switch user do. The reason it's called switch user do, if I put this dash in front of the SU, that means I'm going to log in as root. But if I could say switch user and dash u and then specify Wahid, then I'm not switching user as root. So I'm not a super user, I'm logging into another user. So this program was written for all users, not only super user. You can do switch user do and then run the command. But obviously when sudo is used, it gives you this kind of privilege that you can run commands with a higher level security access. And that's why some people must understand that the option with whether it's super user do or switch user do, but it is not super user do. Just correcting on that one. It is switch user do. So if I have the Wheels account here belong to account, then now I'm root by switching user do su dash. I could have also that switch user do su root, and then it will just switch it that way too. So ID-UN now you can see is root, ID-GN is there. So since I'm on a Linux platform, I could also say get end password root. It is going to give me that one, this $sign ID-UN would give me the same thing. And then I could put this command password, and then dynamically I could say backtick ID-UN. Run the backtick command ID-UN and give the output of that one, which is root, to the get end password and get the same information there. So a number of ways you can do that one. Similarly, if I exit out of this one, I could also say su switch user dash Wahid. Now I'm logged on as Wahid. That's why SU stands for switch user, not sudo. I mean, not super user, because I just switch user to dash Wahid. So you can see that why I'm saying it is a stand for switch user, not a super user. So at this time, if I just exit out back, I'm on root. So if I say exit out of here, I can say ID-UN, give me that one get end password, and then Wahid. Notice the profile that I have is here is bin bash is my shell. $sign shell is saying bin bash. So let me clear my screen here. ID-N, and then I could say also get end password, and then same command ID-UN is gonna give the input Wahid to the get end password, and it is going to work. Similarly, in this subshell, $sign ID-UN there as well. So now if I say pwd print working directory, that's my home directory. Echo $sign pwd uppercase will also tell you that. And then echo $sign home is also going to tell you. But notice if I go to programs, now because of my shell, it is just telling me that I'm on a subdirectory. And then this is because of this prompt shell 1. Prompt shell 1 is saying that show me /u, meaning the user that is logged on, then @ symbol, this is the @ symbol, and then /h, meaning the host name or the local host. So if I type in host name, it's localhost.local domain. But if I just don't want the local domain, I could say cut -d delimiter dot minus F1 field 1, that would only show localhost. If I want to see the domain, I say -F2 field 2, it will tell me that. So a lot of that information is parsed from the prompt shell 1 because of this, and then /w is working directly. And then the $sign at the end of it is always the $sign. So now if I say go to Python programming, notice I'm inside the Python. So if I clear my screen here, pwd, I'm all the way there. Now if I say echo $home, $home is always pointing to my home shell. But echo $pwd, now it is current directory. So pwd and echo $pwd is pointing to where you are at that moment. But $home is where you say get end password for the username. So in this case, the ID-UN is Wahid, and then it will say $home is also Wahid. So you can see echo $home, it return home Wahid. Okay, so let's just clear screen here. And now we're gonna go to Python. And now we know that there's a lot of environment variables here that are set. So if I look for Python, see if there's anything, yeah, there's a print working directory that is having the value Python because I'm on that directory. But if I say which Python, notice that user bin Python is there. But if I say, what is that one? User bin Python, I could say file on it to show me what type of file it is. It is going to show a symbolic link. It's a symbolic link to Python 3. And then Python 3 is also a symbolic link to Python 3.9. So, and that is actually 3.9 is the actually executable file. Executable link format, as you can see, 64-bit. So if I say, instead of this, I say ls-ld, show me all the Python related files that are there. You can see the first one, Python, is symbolic link to Python 3. And then Python 3 is also symbolic link to Python 3.9. And Python 3.9 is the actual binary. And then this one is saying -L. I mean, L is the symbolic link, the first character. The other one is a regular file, so it's a dash. And then if I just type in, say, show me the type of these ones, file star, it says that the first two are symbolic link, the other one. I can also get a stat on them. And you can see, for example, let me just do a stat on Python first. Oh, I typed in the when I meant a stat. So if I just do a stat on star, then it's gonna give me all three of them because the wildcard works on all of them, right? So Python stat on this one and there. You can also do a programming on the listing like one by one. So if I want to get the status like that, I could say /user bin minus name Python. This is just going to show me all of them, right? Then I could say -exec run a stat command on it for each one that you find. And then that would just do it for each one of them separate. So this find command, it finds it, then the exec is going to do it, execute the stat command on each of them within the begin and end as loop, and this is a return character, so it does it. But you can also do this one with more programmatically, right here, you could say, do this, and then since this is giving you the output here, you can say, well, read a file, and then say do, and say echo working on $ file, and now, and then just say echo here, and then say sleep 1 second, and then say stat $ file, and then ls minus ld $ file, and then done. Now notice that each one of them I run a few commands. The first one I say working on word. So that is a typo, and you can easily correct your typo by going here and say, and instead of whirling, you could say working. Just that there was a typo. Now it's gonna say working. So you could see that how easy it is to write programs in Linux, and then getting the version of Python for each one of them, what stats or their the data on each one of them. One of them is symbolic link. The 3.9 is actually executable file, and then the other ones are symbolic link. Then you can see their symbolic link, and it is pointing here. So those are the details of them, right? So Python dash version will tell you that 3.918. Python dash v also gives you the 3.9. So if I just say alias p for Python, or I could just make it a py, and then say user ben Python 3.9. So this is because Python 3.9 is the latest version. I could say py and dash v, it will tell me the same thing. Py dash version will tell you, because I created this alias py to point to the Python 3.9. Because the other ones are there, I could even create this alias to just point to only Python that would find it. That would find it. Why? Because I say py dash version or py dash v. Why does it find it? Because echo $path. This one is saying that whenever I type in which Python, it finds it. So I could even have done something like this, and instead of just giving the absolute path, I could have just typed in Python. This would still work. Why would it work? Because the path it has it. So py dash version, the path has it. So this is there, echo $path. So if I say which py, you can see that it says you have an alias py that is setting to Python that is actually using this user bin Python. So if I say which Python, that's the symbolic link. ls minus ld user bin Python, that's a symbolic link. So I hope you understand all of the details here that I'm showing you, the nuts and bolts of it. Because when you code on a Linux platform, the more you know and the details of how the system works, the better you can help yourself code it, and then start off with something. For example, like let's say I clear a screen here, I say py, I can get into Python because that one is an alias there. I exit out of here, I say Python, and I can get in there. I exit out here, I say Python 3, I get it there. Exit out, and then 3.9 is exit out. So all of this one get me in there. Notice that when I exit, I use every time the word exit here. I could have also used quit. As long as you put the parentheses there, you will be fine. So whether you type in exit or quit, that's how you get into the interpreter and then get out. So quit will just get you out, or exit will get you out. But make sure you put the parameter. If you don't put parameter, it does not understand. Exit, it does not understand. It does understand Control D as the same thing as end of file or quit or exit. So I press Control D, it exits out. But you can also type in exit here, that will get out, and then you can also do quit, get out. 3 ways you can get in and get out, and Control D will get you out. And then clearing the screen here, I'm going to the clear command. Clear or put clear is the same thing as clear command, or Control L. There are 3 ways at least you can clear a screen. If I just say, well, if this is the command, I want to clear my screen, I could type in clear or -L and then Control L, and does it. But then if I want to create a shorter version, an alias for it, in Linux, you can do an alias for it. So if I just say ls here, that's the listing of files. Now I say alias, this is all the list, right? Then I could just say clear and ls here. At the same time, let's just do an alias for C is equal clear. So all I'm saying is that I could type in C here and press enter, it will clear my screen. So whether you type in this, type in clear or ls, you put clear or ls and then Control C, Control L or ls, and then ls is just a command that I'm going to show you. The output on the screen is nicer that way, so you can see that you can also do the C for clearing the screen, because alias C is pointing to the clear command. Okay, and then similarly alias pi I created. So if I create just one character, alias P does not exist now, it does not found, but I could say alias P is equal Python 3, then I could also say P-V would work now, because alias P is already there. So, and then P dash version there, P get into the Python, run the Python commander and exit out. Okay, so I'm gonna clear a screen here. I'm gonna show you pep version. Pep-V also gave you the pep version, which is 21.2.3 in this one for Python 3.9, because Python version was 3.9. So you could do that one, and then at the same time, you could just say pep list to get a list of all the Python packages that are already installed on the system. There are standard libraries, and there are other ones that modules that you install, like NumPy, and other ones that are not part of the standard libraries, you have to install them. But the standard libraries like math and random and regular expression, anything that are there part of it, it will just be available for you. So if I just go to Python here and say import math module, now it is a part of the standard library, it is just going to load it. So if I say import math as M, then if I say dir of M, you can see that is all the listing for the math module, the method, and the functions, and everything that is available with double underscore magic method and other ones that are there, and properties. So math.py will just give you the pi, math and m.how. It will just give you the power of 2 to the power of 10 is 1024, or math dot let's say dot square root of 49 7 49. That's why I got numbers. It should be exact 7. And then 111 would be 111. It is 10, or 121 would be 11, right? 121 is 11. So you could get those numbers, and then At this time, let's do a clear screen. So if I just want to say clear screen, I could do print like this new line character times 18, let's say, and then it will just clear the screen. But notice that some of them were written on the top here. So in order to clear the screen programmatically, you could say import OS module and os.system, then run the clear command from the OS level, and then that would do it for you. So let's just exit out of here. I'm going to show you more on that Python version. So the package here, because this is Red Hat, the Red Hat dash release 3.9, I already did the update. I need to just say, let's see if Python dash version, if I could just upgrade it to a newer version. So if I just say become root here, because I want to do it at the one level, rather than type in sudo every time, I'm going to just type in this command above first, and then now I'm root here. So I just have this prompt, and then I'm going to do DNF list. If you just do DNF list, it's going to show all the packages that are there. So DNF list Python, and then you can get the Python version that are there or something. And then let's see DNF Python 3.9. And then I'm going to try to DNF search for Python first to see what packages are available. There's a number of them. So I think Python 3.11 might be something that I may be looking now. Yeah, Python 3.11 is the one that maybe I could upgrade or update from 3.9. So if I say DNF update Python, Python itself, and then it's going to just try to see what is available, what I have currently, if I can update it. Says nothing to do. So if I say Python 3.11, okay, so no match found for Python 3.11. DNF search Python 3.11. It is there. So let's see which one is the one that I could do. I'm gonna try to do a DNF install Python 3.11. And then if that package is available, it will do the update for me. So now you can see that it's Python 3. And this is there. It's gonna ask me, do you want to upgrade it? I'm gonna say no at this time, and then say Python-v is that. So I'm going to use this command, but with the dash option Y, meaning that, yeah, go ahead and do it. I want to just upgrade it from 3.9 to 3.11. So it's not going to prompt it to me because I did say, yes, go ahead with it. Now notice that 3.3.11 is updated, installed, and complete. So if I say which Python, then I agree to say Python-v, it's 3.9 is still there. So what was installed here with this installation? I could check to see, let's -l user bin Python store. And notice that the version that was installed is 3.11. So if I just say Python 3.11 dash version, it won't tell me the specific version that was installed. But because the other ones are symbolic linked to 3.9, then so it is not working with this version, because everything is pointing to Python 3 and the other ones are symbolic linked to Python 3.9. So I could make a symbolic link of this one to be pointing to this 3.9 and 3.11 is going to be the latest one. So let me just do that one. I could say link minus s. This is why it's good to have root access as well as know the commands. So in this case, I want to just create user ben Python 3.9 and create a symbolic link called Python 3.9. So now, while exists 3.9 already exists, it was already there. That was pointing to that one. That one is 3.9 is already there as an actual binary. So I'm going to remove this Python 3 and then also remove this, the two symbolic link. I'm gonna just change it to 11. So let's just change this one to 11. And this one is gonna say 3. And then let me just remove this, user ben Python. I'm gonna remove only the symbolic link. User ben, you don't remove the actual binary. Since Python and Python 3 or a symbolic link, I'm gonna say go ahead and remove it. And now I'm gonna create it with this command. So that one created the first one, and this one created the second one. Now if I say user ben Python, it is correctly done. So I could do user ben Python 3.9. When I want to use the 3.9 version, it will do it. Otherwise, if I just do a Python 3, it will give me the 3.11. Or if I want to do Python, it will give me the 3.11. That's how you put the symbolic link in the right place. So whenever I need to use the default one, which is a pi-b, as now not pointing to the other one. So alias was only existed on the other one. So right here now I have alias pi as that one. So pi will give me the 3.11. Automatically it had symbolic link pi to user ben and Python, and then which Python is user ben Python, and Python dash version is giving you the same thing. Okay, so now if I just say pi, it's gonna drop me to 3.11.5, the new updated version. So this is how you do Python updates and upgrades here. So we just upgraded our Python version 3.11 from 3.9, but we kept the 3.9 just for compatibility. If there's any developers that they still need the 3.9 version and they haven't tested their source code, make sure that you do this kind of setup on your development environment, work with your developers to just make sure that nobody's code is going to break, because some packages that are on 3.9 is no longer maybe the same package name on 3.11. So when you're coding it, it's going to just work differently. And especially don't do these kind of updates or upgrades on the production without testing it on the development and integration environment and working with your developers entirely. So we did this one. What else we need to do? So we have a Python already here. If I just write a print statement here, say hello world, this is just a print statement is going to work like that. So I could exit out of here. I could also say Python -c for command and say print and then hello world. Inside the command line, you can do the same thing and it will work as well. So Python is very, very easy, very robust, and has so many modules here. So one of the modules that I was talking about, idle, the search engine, when you're going here, you can see all the objects that are available, whether they're double underscore methods or some methods or some class or some modules. So when you import like OS module, you could say os dot whatever command, get current working directory, you could get that one as well as say os.system and then say pwd. That would give you the same thing, or echo $sign pwd, $sign, not percentage. Percentage would be for Windows. And then this one, notice pwd was lowercase. You have to type in uppercase, and that would give you the environment variable. So there's a number of ways you can do that one. You can say also env and then say grep -i, but take the $sign out and then give a space in between, and it will give you the same thing for print working directory. So if I don't want to do the print working directory, the old one, I could say head -1, and it will only specify the first one. There's a number of commands you can do within this. I'll show you afterward with other stuff as well. So when you go on Python, you can also get help with the help function and then get a list of modules that are all the modules. Notice that there's thousands of modules that are available as built-in. I mean, hundreds of modules, but there are thousands of them that you can just install as well. So if a package is not installed, you can use the pep install. So like here, if I search for keywords, and then you can see that there's and like look for the plus operator, there's all kind of information here. So I'm gonna press enter here. I'm gonna go back here and say os.system, and then I say clear the screen, and then import OS, and then run the OS, clear the screen. It works. And at this time, if I just say, let's say import sys module, sys.path, sys.platform, you can get all this information about your system. And then sys.platform as Linux, sys.os.name, for example, it's NT POSIX. And then on the Windows, it would be NT. And so sys.version would give you the Python version. Sys.python version info will give you the major, minor, and so we get that 3.11 OS. So you can also get like this, say os.system, and then say Python dash version would be equivalent to the other one that we did, that one. I did not close the bracket, that's why. And so here, let me clear the screen. I want to just show you. Okay, so this was the command on the OS version, and then sys.version info, version info would give you that one, or sys version would give you that. That is 3.11.5. So sys.executable is going to show you that user bin Python. And then here, os.version command, you could say which Python would tell user bin Python. And so there's a number of ways you can get these commands there. In addition, since I'm inside Python, I'm gonna just show you the interactive Python. So which IPython, it tells you that the user bin IPython is there. File user bin, user local bin IPython. That one is a script. IPython, Python script as executable. Let's see the size of that file. So when you say ls-ld, that Unix doesn't care how many slashes you put, or Linux, so it will work. But it's better to put one. You don't need to type in 10 of them. So use a local bin Python, is giving you that. And then if you just look at the executable is there. So that is showing you the type file was executable ASCII text, and the size is small, so I can do a cat -n to see all the lines there. As you can see here, it just says run the user bin Python 3. This shebang is telling it on the first line that every time you want to execute line 2 through line 8, in this case, is use the Python 3 interpreter. That's what that command is telling you. You can also say shebang user bin env and then a space Python 3. That would be dynamically finding out the interpreter and then loading it there. And usually I write my programs that way. I don't hard code it with this. And even though user bin Python 3, it will find it. But if somebody modified that user bin Python 3 to Python or something, then this hard code would break. It is better to just have user bin env dynamically finding that one. Obviously, if the even the other ones that you're passing Perl or Bash or Python 3, if that doesn't exist, it's gonna just fail out. So env is giving you a little bit more robustness dynamically. Okay, so let's get to this one. We know that this code is importing the regular expression that says, and it is doing a main comparison of the function and name as the module name. If it is started with main, then it does sys.org sub-0, and then does that one. When it comes to all the regular expression, everything else, I'll give you a lot more details on the arguments and everything that is passed on with sys modules, as well as Unix, Linux, $ arguments and everything else. So let's get back to the topic of Python. Okay, so I did the IPython. Now I'm running this IPython, and it is telling me that IPython is breaking, no modules called IPython. So the first thing that I do, because I did install it 3.9 and the other one version is no longer working, so I could just either change the symbolic link or install the IPython. So I'm going to do a sudo su dash here, become root first. Now I'm root. I'm going to say pep list find grep -i, and then I say IPython to see if IPython is already installed. So pep is not working either because of the same thing. Pep clear screen, pep list does not work, as you can see. So I'm going to say Python 3.11-v, that is there. I'm going to say -m pep install pep no modules. Okay, so dash Python 3 -m Python 3. Python let's see, pep -m I think Python -m pep install no module name pep. Okay, pep 3, I think it is. Okay, user bin user bin pep. So PEP 3.9 is there. It is not using this one because PEP 3 is, so if I say user bin PEP itself, it is failing. As you can see here on the PEP is saying that no module PEP found because line 7 of the PEP itself. Let me just look at the file user bin PEP. Okay, bin user bin PEP. And this one is using shebang user bin env, and then line 7. Let me go to line 7. So now we're troubleshooting the upgrade process. 7. Go to line 7, and on line 7 is it from this import main pep underscore internal command line. Okay, one easy way to do it is to just create a symbolic link on the other one. The other one is also to update the pep3 to pep. So clear, let me see if I can do the update first. Use the bin pep 3.9. Okay, DNF search pep pep and 3.11. So if we can just install the same way that we did update the other one, install pep 3.11, and that's not a package there. DNF search pep. Yeah, pep is there, but let me see if grep minus I 3.11. Yeah, Python 3 is there, Python 3.11, pep no org. This is the one I need in this case. So I'm gonna say DNF install Python 3.11 dash pep dot no org, no architecture, and then say yes here. So this will just work for all the architecture, and then say which pep 3.11, it is there. Now if I say pep less, is going to work. Why it works? Because now if I say file user bin pep, you can see that pep, and let's do ls minus l instead of file, s minus l. Okay, so you can see here now pep is pointing to 3.11. All of them are pointing. Pep 3 is pointing to it, and pep 3.11 is actually executable. 3.11 is available. So if I just say pep list, it will show at this time only those packages are there. So if I just get out of here, which pep is there, and then pep dash v, it tells me is 22.3, but notice it shows this time is for 3.11. That's why it works. So now if I say pep list, it has those packages that are currently installed here. So now notice that those packages that are part of the standard libraries. So if I go say grep minus I numpy, and because that's not part of the standard library, it's not there. So I have to do a pep install numpy to get that modules installed. Similarly for IPython. So now if I do which IPython, it is which IPython. Now it is there. I go IPython. It is gonna just say file user bin and line 5. Again, this one needs to install the IPython there with DNF. So with sudo with pep, not DNF, pep install install IPython. So I'm going to install IPython, and then I'm gonna do it with sudo access. So this system wide. Now it is done with this, and if I say which IPython, sorry, IPython, and then IPython, it is IPython. I have to type it correctly. Now I'm all good set with it because I did this command. So let me exit out of here. I did this command with sudo, and then I installed the pep install IPython. So IPython got updated for the version that I did. So now if I say pep ls, and then grep minus I IPython, you can see that I have the IPython version 8.18. So when I go IPython, it is gonna get into Python. If I want to see the list of commands, I can run the ls-l command because it's interactive. I can do a lot of things. So I can say pwd here, and then I can say shebang, bang, and then say host name. I can run all the commands that I could do at the operating system, etc os-release, and then clear my screen. So here I could do a bang, or I could say system and then pwd. Notice every command that I do here, if I say system ls, it will give me a long listing. Or I could say ls like that, I could get that also with bang. Or I could say system and then say ls-l. But at the same time, I could have, let me say long listing. I could just also use the cell listing like this, and then clear command and pwd. A lot of those things are here. So if I go ls magic, list of magic, notice that there are lines, line magics, which are stored with 1%, and then there are cell magic, which is stored with 2%. So if I want to use bash, for example, I could do 2% here, say bash here, and now I'm inside bash interpreter. So what I could do is write the for statement inside the bash command to do the combination of those things, and then say print it out and then get the output as well. So clear the screen. Let's say I'm going to just do a for statement, so I could show you what I mean by in the example. So I could say double percentage bash, and I say for I and rather than sequence, let's just do the other way around, sequence of 10, and then I'm going to say echo $I, and then done. And now if I print it, it just exits a command B for this one. Let me just clear the screen here. Say what's wrong with here. Sequence of 10. I'm going to try to go a shorter number, and then echo. I believe this one might need to be within the code inside here. No. Return. So there's some thing that is not working. Traceback mostly so-called for a statement for I and $ sequence to, and then it's the do missing. That's why. the do. I thought I said do, but I never wrote the do here. So you have to say do, and then now it works. And now it's gonna work. Clear the screen. Percentage bash for I in sequence of that, and then do echo $I. Done. It should work now. Yeah. So if you just change this one to 10, it will work for 10 numbers. And then if you just say, let's just change this one for I, you could say the sum of $I plus $, $I is equal, and then we say expression $I plus $I, and then backtick. The expression has to be evaluated, so that's why I'm putting within the backtick, and then do that one. So now we should get the output of saying the sum of those numbers are there. Notice if I change the plus to a multiplication symbol here, because a multiplication is a wildcard. If I don't skip it, it's not gonna work. It's gonna just error out with saying that, oh, I could not return the result here. So if you just run this one, unexpected argument, it does not work. So the way to make it work, you go back here on the asterisk and you just skip it. So if I just skip it for both of them, it's gonna work. And then that's how you see it as this. So the first one, the sum of 1 and 1 is equal. The first one looks like it. Let me see if that one works with this syntax. Yeah. So the first one, you didn't have to do it, because what it is that it is within this double quote, and so it gets evaluated. But when you do the expression, this one has to be there, because the backtick is evaluating the star as a wildcard. So that's why you're doing it that way. But within Python, if I clear my screen, I can IPython, within IPython, I can also do import OS and then say os.system, and then run multiple commands and get the output of them as well. And then similarly, if I just say command, say commands, let's say I'm running these commands as a list. Now, if I say commands, this one is going to say who, ID-UN, and who am I. So if I just say for CMD and commands, do, now, not do actually, say stream is equal os.pipe open or process open method, and then run the command. And so then I say output is equal stream.read. So read that output and then print the output. Print the output for each command. So now notice that the command's outputs are shown up here. So for each command, it prints it. Oh, output is not defined. I mistyped it. So let me go back here and then say output. And now, oops, sorry. Output. And those commands are executed correctly. So that's for IPython. I'm going to not cover it forever. Let's go to Jupyter Lab. So which in Jupyter Lab, if you have already installed it, it might be Jupyter-Lab. Yeah, Jupyter-Lab. So when you do the installation, you have to do pip install Jupyter Lab. So if I just run it right now, Jupyter Lab, if it's gonna fail because I have to install it again with sudo pip install Jupyter Lab. Remember, I did this Jupyter Lab. It was saying that this name is not found, so that's why on the PowerPoint I had to change this one Jupyter Lab. I remember we did that one. Notice that I was complaining about the developers naming it the package one thing and then the actual binary one thing, and so that's the part that I was referring to. So it is Jupyter Lab as the name of the package, but to run it, you just run Jupyter-Lab. And now Jupyter Lab is installed. It's gonna open Firefox and it's gonna just run the Jupyter Lab on port 888. This is the default port for it. So now Jupyter Lab is open. And you can also change the themes under the setting here. I already changed my themes from white to black, so you can change it to a darker, and then you can see it looks nicer here. I'm going to just open up. You have options for a notebook to run it, or Jupyter Python 3 kernel, or the terminal or text file, and then markup, markdown, and all of that one, Python file. So I'm gonna just open this one first. It's a cell. So here I could say import OS, and then say os.system, and then say uname-a, and get that output. So I click on the run here, and you get the output here. And then say, and instead of this, if I just say, give me the host name, it will just say host name. And then you can also say, let's say netstat -rn to get the statistic of network. You can see that on the routing number information, or even you do like and let's look up google.com. So whatever command you put into the system, it will execute that one. If you change the parameter to say whatever host name that you do, then you just do that command. So MyWebUniversity, .myWebUniversity.com, you can get the MyWebUniversity information. So I'm going to show you a number of other things. So let's say on this one, we could just say ls command here to run the list command here. You can see that when I type in alias, there's a list of aliases that are available. One of them was ls, and then another one is ll, for example. ll is a long listing. So if I just say ll, and then just run that one, it will give me a long listing of all the files that are there. And then at the same time, I can just type in pwd. It will say print working directory is there. I can also run a shebang here, bang here in front of it. It will also do the same command here. So if I just say who, run the who command, it will just say who's logged on the system. And then who -r, run level. And then show me the df-h. Every command that you do with the bang, you could do this one. You could also say system, it will do the same thing. And then if you just, instead of system, you say port OS, and then write on the next line, say os.system, and then run the df-h command. That will also give you the same output. Okay, so there's a number of this, and if you just do a command like a math module here, let's just do a math import math as m, and then say m dot print m dot pi, just to print out that pi. Yes, you can get this value. You can also say name as equal Wahid, and then a string Wahid, and then just say print hello name, hello, and then name, and then you could run it like that too, and we would say hello Wahid. So why didn't work? Because somehow I did something wrong. So what is that wrong? Because I missed a comma here. So I could say now it works, because you're just saying that that field is the string comma this. So if I want to do another way, I could also do this f string. Python 3 also support that one, and then I could just say this is the value that I want to print out, the value of this variable name, and then I can get that one here. So it is there. Now if I say something with the string, say Wahid Lutfi, then obviously it is going to change hello Wahid Lutfi. So there's a number of ways you can do within Python the same thing. So if you just say for I in range of 1 and like 10, 100 numbers, you could just a for statement say print if just say if an I is equal 50, we only want to print 50, print it within that number, print I, everything else we don't want to print it, and then we just say go ahead, run this cell, and it just print it that way. And if you want to delete this cell, how nice it is. So here, if you would just say, let's just delete this cell also. If you just do on this cell, if you say ls magic, list of magic, you can run this cell similar to interactive Python, and it will give you the cells. You can also use percentage in front of it, will do the same thing. So whether you put percentage on the first one or not, it will work. This one, you can see it gives you line cells. All of these ones are line cells, which means you're using 1% when you want to do it. For example, if you do the PWD or something, if you go to this one, let me just shrink this one. So if I just say line cells, and if I say 1% is say who, I run this one, it's supposed to run the who command, and it does command. So similar to like who, this one, it will just give you a list of who's there. And then this one is a different who command. If I do double L long listing and then run this one, it give you that, and then similarly the output of that one, and then if I say ls minus L, that also give you the same output. So there's cell command, and then there's line commands. So line commands, or as I showed you here, if I just delete these two, I'll put here, I don't want to, that's too long of command. So, and this one also. So like right here, you can see the line cell. If you do the line cells, all of these ones are two percentage. So that means if I want to use one of them, like bash or any other one, I could say percentage bash, and then I use the syntax of a bash statement now for I and let's say I'm gonna try to do a sequence again, backtick sequence of 5, and then I say do, and then say echo $I, done. This one, when I run it now, it's gonna give me those. But if I just do it within this, I could say echo sum of $I plus $I is equal, and then say expression $I plus $I, so it will just sum it up. You can do that one and it will just work, but why it didn't work, I have to look at the syntax of the for sum that I changed. So I say sum of $I plus $I is equal, and then yeah, I did not close the backtick here. The backtick has to be closed here in order to get it working. And then now I run the cell again. It is still saying that this somehow this expression did not work. So the sum of I plus I is equal this. Let me try this way. And now I'm gonna have this one interpolation of that one to see why it is look like the class is not understood somehow. So equal expression. Oh, expression, I mistyped it. XPR. I thought that I wrote it correctly. Expression. Okay. Now it should work. Yeah, it does. And then if you do this one for multiplication, just change this one to multiplication. But notice this one, if I do it to multiplication, like I showed you on the IPython, this one will also fail because inside the expression, this multiplication symbol is going to interpret with the backtick. So you have to be careful on that one. It's going to fail, but you can skip that one. It should work, and it does. So this is inside the bash. If you just change this one to say, let's run Python 3. Remember the list of magic, you have that Python 3. So now I could say Python 3, and then inside the Python 3, I could say for item and dir, say print item. So this one will just print all item. And then if I just run that one, you can see get the item there. And then similarly for other ones, you can just always code whatever you want to do with it. It is up to you. So for this one, you can say a range of 10, 50 is escaped by 4. So it would be 10, 14, 18, and so on until the last number. So now if I just print it, it will just say those numbers, 10, 14, 18, and so on, right? And if I just change this one, increment it by 10, that would be shorter numbers, 10, 30, 20, 30, 40, and it stops. The last one is not inclusive. So this is the range that you could do that. And when we come to less than other ones, I'll cover a lot more with more examples, function, user-defined function, There's a lot of tuples, sets, classes, strings, and everything all cover those data structures. So we did this one on the interactive Python. You can also open a terminal here and run a terminal here. You can see that the terminal here, you have this. So I could get into Python here and then just do a commands as well here. Or just quit out of this and then do OS commands. And then do everything here. So now if I just have a p1.py, I can see that code is saying hello from this one. I can run p1.py like this. It will just give me the output there. And then if I say vim p1.py, I just change the range to 10 numbers. Let's just change it to 10 comma 20, differences 3, whatever you want to do. Just I'm going to just see if p1.py give me different output right there. It does. And then see if a Python p1.py, you can run it that way too. And then because the head -1 of p1.py has and the header saying that whenever you load, use the user ben env binary to load the interpreter Python tree. So the shebang is telling you that one. So which env file user ben env is the executable link format environment that loads the Python tree interpreter because of the first line, which Python 3 it is there, and that was symbolic link to 3.11.9, and then that was the executable interpreter. So if I say ls-ld user ben Python 3, that was showing you 3.11, which is this file, and that's executable link format, which is the actual Python interpreter. So when we go to you have to put a space here. And then when you go to Python 3, automatically, or Python, and then you can see import sys and sys.version or sys.version info will give you the details like we did on that inside Python. So a lot of that details are there. Sys.executable, it tells you sys.platform. All of that command works the same way. And then and there of sys, since sys is doing it, there's so many other ones like argv and sys.argv sub0 and sub1 and everything that you get the output for it. Sys.executable was this one, user ben Python. So I'm gonna exit out of this one also. What else we need to show on this? There's the command lines we did cover. There's markdown and other ones that are there, but when it comes to using them, obviously you can use them by just going here and then create the markdown, or just even on inside here on the cell, if you just type in something like code inside here under code and then markdown, and you can type in like something on the cell with let's say the 2 and say ls magic, for example, and then say percentage ls magic or something. And then this one, if you run it, notice that ls magic is just showing you the actual command. So the markdown, let me mark down. Okay. Pam. Okay, close this cell, close this one. There's something with markdown that I forgot. I need to just look at the markdown. I think it is the number of pounds that you put in here. It will automatically do it. On the version that I used on notebook with Google search, it was different research there. Let me see here. You can just close these ones, and then let me open a new markdown. See what is the option here. Yeah, so with markdown, you could just also do this number of markdown, say help, let's say, and then three of them help, and then just to see how they are different here. You can save it in the file. It is this. I honestly and don't recall it how I did it, but markdown file. Okay, so when you forget something like this, you can always go on Google and say Jupyter Lab markdown cheat sheet. That's the one. So you could look at the markdown cheat sheet, and then it will just tell you that for each one of them, there's a syntax that you could say. For example, I'm putting it there with each one, how big it is, or the other one, and you get these kind of markdown there. So the format, the syntax is pound, number of pounds that are doing it, and you can do files and other ones. But that's by itself is another syntax that you just have to memorize for it. I don't need it at this time because there's a lot of options here that you can just do it depending on what you're doing it. And so I'm teaching you Python, interactive Python, and other ones. But for more there, either watch my other videos that I already did a few years ago, and then or just go to this consultation of this video and search for them there. But for images, you have one type of syntax, and you just say, for example, image source. This is like almost the HTML tag, and that you could do image source and then another one. The only difference is that sometimes if you use the PNG files, you use the shebang and then the bang, and then sometimes you use a file. So the syntax is a lot different if you're loading a PDF file. And then if you're just doing a regular markdown with the type of italicize or bigger or lower with these this. So you have all that information here. And then let's go to the next one. I just need to close this other one or here. Okay, so at this time I'm going to look at this one, close it, and then this one is good, this one is okay. So we did this one. Now let's get to install Jupyter Lab. We did Jupyter Lab and IPython. Let's install Visual Studio Code, and then also PyCharm, the IDE version. So how do I do that one? You just open a terminal here, and then on the same terminal, let me just close this. Right here, I'm gonna exit out of this one right here on the Firefox. So if you just go under File here, and then go all the way here under Shutdown, you just go File, and then go all the way to Shutdown. Oops. It's just as soon as I go to Shutdown, it just I'll change the screen. Let me slowly move it. Open URL. I don't want to open URL. I'm gonna move this one here and then save file. And okay, it is just failing to do this. I think it is because of my Zoom is just on top of it. Let me move this one here. See if I can now do it. Otherwise, I could just, yeah, I could just terminate it from the command lines on the Linux server. And so there's this file shutdown here that you could click on the shutdown and gracefully kill it. But notice that as soon as I want to just do it, it just exits out. So how do I do it from command line? Here, let me show you the command line. Here now we are on this one. I'm going to exit out of this one, quit out, yes, clear the screen, and then ps minus ef grep minus I Jupyter lab. Remember the process when I started with ps minus ef grep minus I and Jupyter. So Jupyter dash lab was the command that I used, and it opens Firefox, and then I need to put Jupyter lab to see if it finds it. No, it is not. Grep minus v grep. By doing grep minus v grep, you're saying that don't show my grep command. So Jupyter is that's the binary that it is loading this one. So I think that's the one. So I'm going to just say pkill process kill Jupyter and dash lab. That would just try to kill it if it is any process, but it did not find it. So I'm going to say -9 and then this process ID. Firefox, yeah, it opens Firefox with that parameter. So I'm going to say 154 576, and that closes it. As you can see, it closed it. The next thing that I could do, if I just show that command again, it is not going to show that Jupyter Lab is there. So if I just want to start it off again, I just type in Jupyter Lab again. But now this time I'm going to try to see if I can close it programmatically. The same way that with the shutdown, gracefully. So it says open URL. So let me see if I can resize this window a little bit. No, it is not resizable. Well, I'm gonna move this one on the right side all the way. File. Okay. See, this time I could do this one. So I had to do something with a little bit of tweaking on the resolution, or just moving it up and down. So now that one is closed, you can see right here it says shutdown extension. And if I just run the same command that I did here, there's no Jupyter Lab anymore. So whether you do it with the pkill command or kill command or shutdown, either one, it will stop the process of Jupyter Lab. Now, the next thing that I want to show you is that how do we install PyCharm? Since I already installed it, PyCharm, I should have it. When I say which PyCharm, I should have it. Let's see, where is it? PyCharm. I think it's called PyCharm-community. Yeah, PyCharm community. So if I just type in PyCharm-community, it will just open up PyCharm Community Edition, and then it will just you have to accept it, and then start writing the PyCharm. That is the PyCharm project. On subsequent videos, I'm going to show you the details of this one with everything going on, and then we are going to just name a project name. Let me move this one away. Okay, so the project name is by default this, and then you can say, well, let's just give it a new name, new project. And then it will just start, and everything will have the name, and then main is the function. By default, it writes a main function. You could just say, well, I will write my own this virtual environment, everything you could do. Or you could just exit out of this one and go to the directory where Python is. So let's say p1.py, I could say, let's say echo or vim hello.py. Do I have one? No. Let's write print hello world. That's a very simple program to write, and then we could write the whole thing here, and then we could also say do #user bin env python 3, and this one, and we can test this one, say cat -n hello.py. So now if I say python 3 hello.py, it will run, and if I run it hello.py, it will run. Permission denied, because hello.py is not executable. Read write, but not executable. Change mode u+x makes it user executable. So hello.py ls-l hello.py, now I made it executable. Hello.py will run, and it will say the same thing. Earlier was not executable. I could run Python 3. It doesn't matter if the file is executable or readable, it will just still do it. So as long as it's readable. And now I say Python-community and give the input hello.py as the argument. Pycharm-community hello.py, and then that will just open up. But let's see if this time it opens up the hello.py. Stay in light edit, that's fine, and that's the one. So now I could just compile it, and then run it and everything, test it, and we could do that one. But at this time, I'm going to just save some time, and then do this one later. Let's go to show you what I did to install PyCharm. So in Red Hat, there's a number of ways you can do it. Clear the screen, cat -n pycharm-info.txt. I wrote this text file in order to show you what I did to install PyCharm, because PyCharm on Red Hat is different than on Ubuntu, and some of them come out as a snap package, some of them comes out as RPM. So when you're installing it, it's different. So on Red Hat, I had to do sudo dnf install, and then this epal release for version 9. If you're on version 8, just change this to -8, and it will work on that one. I've tested on 8 and 9 as well. So do a sudo dnf install snapd. Snapd is another package for similar to the DNF and RPM and yum. The snapd is a little bit different than those ones because snapd is containerized. It's not like a repository that you have to get them from the repository of Red Hat or something. So in this one, once you do this EPAL and release for the DNF, you do a DNF repo list, you will see the EPAL list is there. So if I say DNF repo list and direct minus I EPAL, you can see that the EPAL is releases there. The result I could do the systemctl enable the socket. So I had to install snapd packages by doing DNF install, and then the snap list will just give you all the list of the packages that are there. Because I made the symbolic link here for the snap packages, and sometimes you have to log out and log in again, and then or reboot your system, and the snap packages will be established properly. And once that one is done, then you can use snap to install the PyCharm community with -- classic option. And then after that is installed, you can use it like I showed you earlier. So that's for PyCharm. The next thing is that I want to show you Visual Studio Code. cat -n Visual Studio Code -info.txt. So this is what I did to install the Visual Studio Code on Red Hat. To install it, you have to download this RPMs again, RPM -- import. And this is the URL and that I got it from Red Hat documentation. So you get that one, and then this part of the code right here is what you put inside the Visual Studio Code.repo and the yum repository and directory. Once you do this one, this Visual Studio Code is enabled. You see enabled is equal 1, and then good privacy check is equal 1, and then the good privacy key is for Microsoft there. Then you can say yum install -y for yes code, and then start the code by just typing code. So now if I say which code is already there, file user bin code is there, and then if I look at the content of etc yum.repos.d Visual Studio Code.repo that one, sorry, cat etc yum.repos. I believe I missed one typo there with / Visual Studio Code.repo. This will just tell you the content of it that's there. So when I did the installation, it worked successfully. Now all I have to do is say code, and we'll just open up Visual Studio Code. And then every function, everything that you're using, it is available for you there. So that same program that I did there, if you just want to run it, you have to install the extension first. I did the package extension, so look at the Python extension. These packages are already installed. It just says now uninstall it, and then I installed it, and then all of that one that I installed it, including Jupyter Lab, you can go and install it. This side Visual Studio Code for C, C++, also you have to install the extension. For other ones on Python, I installed it, and you have to do that too. So when you're clicking here, if you just want to close this environment and just run this code, notice you have the option here to run it. And then here you have a terminal also, which is very nice. So you can do a clear screen here, and then say pwd host name. You can run the commands here, and then say, since the name of the program is p1.py, sorry, on a different directory, programs, Python, and p1.py, you can see that is there. Cat minus np1.py, it is there. If I want to run it p1.py, you can run it that way. And let's say I modify it here and say, do it for the 10, let's say 1 to 10, and then difference to 19, difference of 5. And so whatever number, let's say just change it to 20, and then as 5. And then now if I just run this one, notice that when I say run a Python program, it runs between 1 to 16. It modified it already. But notice that if I go here and say p1.py, that also modified it. So this inside the Visual Studio Code, as soon as you make the change, it's automatically saved. But you can also come and save and then save it in there. So cat p1.py, you can see that it is the new updated here already. So if I make the change here, say to 12, and then say run it, notice that 1, 6, and 11, but notice that here, clear screen cat p1.py, I didn't click on save, but it automatically saved there. So this good. And then you can see the output here also. If you run it, you will get the output here. If you want just a terminal, you can run the commands here, all the next command as well. And obviously here, if you want to run IPython, you can run it, and then you can run pep ls, pep ls, all of those ones, same functionality. Okay, so the entire thing is there for you. And then I believe I showed you already how I installed it, so I'm going to say exit out of this one by closing it, and it is there. If I want to just say clear the screen, ls -l hello.py, I want to open that one, I say hello.py as the argument to it, it will open that one. And then now if I just say run it, run Python program, okay, so let's see why it is not, it is taking a while. Run Python program. It is open here. Okay, so I'm gonna just try to run the code without this. Somehow it is not doing this one now. If I say, yeah, see that now it works, but with the argument somehow it was not understanding it to open it here. So now it works here. So clear the screen here and say run it. It will run the hello world. And if I change this one to say name is equal my web university, and then I could say F, and then welcome to my YouTube channel. And then right here I could just say percentage name, and run it this time. It just say welcome to MyWebUniversity there. Clearing the screen here, say p1 dot hello.py. It will just do the same thing. Why does it not work? Hello.py. Let me just, oh, I'm on a different directory here. Programs, programs, Python. You have to be the right directory. So when you run p1.py or hello.py, sorry, hello.py, now it works. And then if I just clear the screen here and run it here, it says the same thing. Okay. So thanks for watching our channel, and I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you learn it. Next time I'm going to cover the basic of Python, which is variables, and then expressions, and if statement, while statement, a lot of looping and branching, and all those kind of basic level of the Python. And then from there on, we move to the data structure, and then from data structure to modules and classes and objects and everything. We will cover a lot. So just stay tuned and enjoy learning. And please make sure that you subscribe to our channel so you get all the details as we cover. Have a nice one. Take care. God bless you all. Love and peace for everyone. Please support peace and everywhere that you are. And then ceasefire in the Gaza and Israel situation. It is nice to just help the community around you to have peace and love and respect for all humanities. Good humanitarian cause is always going to show nice and centuries and decades to come, and then decades and centuries to come, and then history reveals all the facts and truth, and we should always be on the right side, not supporting war criminals or terrorists or anybody that does wrong to the humanity. We have to help humanity. We're part of the same family. So we should be children of Adam and Eve, and think of others as our own, not as our enemies. Take care. Bye-bye.